The town center of Morges is underwater following a violent storm, and traffic is severely disrupted. Very localized violent storms hit Switzerland late Tuesday, especially along the Pre-Alps, according to MeteoSwiss. Vaud was particularly affected. The town of Morges suffered impressive flooding. No injuries have been reported at this stage. The main storm peaks were local and stationary, hence the significant water accumulation in places. Vaud Untersee, the forecaster at MeteoSwiss, reported flooding in Morges. In the region of Penthelas and that of St. Geneva Airport was also affected, a flood causing an outage at the Skyguide premises. A possible absolute record in Switzerland over 1 hour could have been reached with 98 millimeters of water falling above Lauberson. A total of 129 millimeters of water fell over 2 to 3 hours. The Fechy, Reverol, and Cassonay stations respectively recorded 26 millimeters, 53 millimeters, and 41 millimeters in less than 2 hours. It was in Morges that the images of flooding were most impressive. Strong storms at the end of the day caused the river of the same name to burst its banks. Several places were flooded along the banks of the Morges, in particular at the so-called Moulin roundabout. The heavy rains caused the river to overflow in several sectors. A tree also fell into the watercourse, confirmed the DOR spokesperson for the Vaud police Jean-Christophe Sauterelle. Many walkers and motorists found themselves with feet and wheels in the water on both sides of the river. The scenes were particularly impressive on the side of Independence Park, where the river overflowed beyond Paderewski Avenue. In a 10-kilometer area around Morges, several accesses were cut off, while the rain started to fall again around 9 p.m. The Jardin de Jeunesse site in Bollens is also waterlogged. Same observation on the Rue de Vigneron side. In front of the Odeon Cinema, firefighters tried to control the situation as well as possible. Certain entrances to houses and buildings were also invaded by the floods. The side of the tunnel next to the Place de la Gare was also flooded. The Parc de Sports car park is also impassable. Many residents had never seen such a situation in the town, where SS Morges had to intervene nearly 150 times. According to the Morges newspaper, the floods were visible on the Parc de l'Independence side, but also as far as the city center towards the Grand Rue. The Parc de Sports parking lot was no longer accessible in the evening, according to local media. Traffic in downtown Morges was able to resume on Wednesday morning. However, some businesses victims of flooding and mudslides will remain closed. Around 20 emergency services interventions are still underway.
Avec les orages qu'il y a eu, Parc d'Indépendance, regardez l'entrée du Parc d'Indépendance.
Videos show flooded terraces and water seeping into businesses and restaurants. The entrance to the city at Paderewski Avenue was particularly affected. According to MeteoSwiss, it rained between 26 and 53 millimeters in less than 2 hours in the Morges region and at the foot of the Jura, between 4 p.m. and 6 p.m. According to the police, in total around 20 events were reported in the west, center, and north of the canton of Vaud. There were local floods, landslides, and roads temporarily closed. To date, police have not yet reported any injuries. In the rest of the canton, the situation was restored and the roads cleared. The bad weather only caused material damage. There were no injuries or people affected by the floods. According to the cantonal police spokesperson, Several municipalities in the Alps region are without landline telephones following bad weather, according to the online site of the MeteoSwiss Confederation. The services of Securial-type systems are no longer provided. In addition to Alps, the municipalities of Pampigny, Sèvres, Clermont, Yens, Cottons, Reverol, Villers-sur-Yens and Bussy-Chardani are affected by the outage. Emergency services can only be reached via the mobile phone network.
Regardez. Il y a la barrière, là, le bois est